I didn't realize how far I drifted from my art until I started painting just to paint. No rules, no pressure, and for the first time in a while, I felt it again. That spark. This video is kind of a journal, a check-in, a confession, and a celebration. So, let's talk. Konnichiwa, wonderful people, and welcome back to the channel. Very glad to have you here as usual. And this is, I think, Art Talk 2 or 3. I am not sure. Unfortunately, I am very bad at keeping track of my own videos. But anyway, in today's video, I have a bunch of things to talk about, but I want to try go through them as quickly as possible. And I want to start with falling in love with art again. I feel like I found myself trapped in a space in which I was trying too much to be perfect. When something didn't go right, I blamed myself. Basically, going against all the advice that I'd learned, everything that I keep telling myself, just completely went against it. Every time I felt burnt out, I felt burnt out all the time, and I felt like I wake up in the morning and I don't want to create. I go to sleep not having created or not having felt accomplished in any sort of creativity. And I feel like one thing that helped me get out of that is letting go of perfection. I have done a few sketches here and there throughout the week, and none of them have been far from perfect, but I realized they're sketches. They're meant to be imperfect. They're not meant to have a lot of detail. They're not meant to be overdone. They're just sketches. And in light of that, I started to think to myself, wow, letting go of perfection gives me freedom to express myself without needing to be perfect, so to speak. And I feel like it doesn't have to be perfect or beautiful, and that's something that I keep telling myself constantly. And it has seemed to have worked. Over the past 1 week, I've felt free. I've felt the need to create. Right now, I'm just itching to draw something. I've been drawing every day, or drawing or painting or sketching every day. And I'm like, sometimes, okay, people say 5 minutes a day. Sometimes I tell myself the bare minimum is 1 minute a day. Like sketch, just sketch for 1 minute. And in the artist's mind, when you're practicing fundamentals like those, you can't just do one. So you end up doing another minute. By the time you're done, it's been half an hour, and you've created something not perfect, but you've created something regardless. So that's something I'm trying to push myself to do, is to just create. And now, another thing is I did my first ever landscape painting, and I felt so proud of it. I just went into it blindly, followed a very good tutorial, went into it blindly, had no expectations. By the time I was half an hour in, I was like, what is this I'm looking at? But then I just decided to trust the process, and so far it has shocked me and shocked my followers as well on Instagram. I think it has had the most shares, and as of now, it's not even been 24 hours since I posted that piece, and it has gotten the most engagement so far. And that just spoke to me that, first of all, trying something new. I've never painted backgrounds or not backgrounds, but landscapes in my life, in my artistic life, which is only 2 years old. I've never painted backgrounds. So trying something new and then going into it without a mind of perfection is something that really helped me with, just sticking to it. And then, I'm going to do more, and I'll explain just a little bit about what I mean by that. But this one it blew my mind, to be honest. And I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. If you don't follow me on Instagram, go check it out there, or here during this video, and I'll really appreciate your feedback, and I'd like to know what you think. So the next thing is struggling with Mermaid. So last year I participated in Marmee for the first time, and I think I did every prompt except one or two. And my sketches were, I think I only liked like 2 out of 30 of them. But I was doing it every day. This is the prompt for today is small, the prompt for today is jade, the prompt for today is like whatever prompts there were, I was just hitting it. But then this year has been different. I did not have the same psych. I had an art block during the first 3 days of Marmee. Okay, the week leading up to the first 3 days of Marmee, and got into it, did the first like 2-3 prompts, and fell a bit behind, tried to push myself. So I just decided it's never that serious, and I don't have to do everything, and I'm proud of the ones that I've done. I think that's very important for me, is that regardless of stressing through each piece, I'm proud about each and every one of them, even the ones that are, again, imperfect. I think that's the lesson that I took out of this. I still have a few Marmees to draw before May ends. Some by one of my favorite artists on Instagram. There's like a small, it's like the one where you do 1 prompt per week. So I think I forget the name of the flower, but it's like a garden Marmee. I know it's like a flower and a fruit. So I forget the name. I think it's a peony flower and a blueberry is the prompt for this week ending on 24th. And in light of that, I feel like no hard feelings towards myself. I didn't have the energy. Life happens. We move on. Now the next thing, which I'm relatively excited about. So last year I hosted this challenge called Toontastic. So Toontastic is basically my way of expressing my love for old film, cartoons, and animation. So, the likes of Bugs Bunny and Snow White and, old Disney, old Looney Tunes, Pink Panther, Oswald the Rabbit, Tom and Jerry, and all these other amazing cartoons. And it's just my way of appreciating them, because if you know me, my comfort zone is drawing these kinds of characters. And so last year I launched Toontastic. 2 people participated throughout the whole month, which I'm grateful for. I mean, it's better than no one. And this year I've come back with, I think, a relatively better list, and I'm hoping that my follow account growing over the last 1 year might be able to bring people in. And there's probably slides of what I created last year. And so the prompt list is there. I'm also gonna post it in the YouTube community tab in case anyone outside of Instagram would like to join. If you're watching this video, it will be in my community tab later. So next thing is building a routine. So I have been playing around with what I want my future to look like, and I'm like, I want to be a character designer and animator, but what does that take? That takes learning the fundamentals well. That takes quite a few other aspects, perspective, anatomy, and all this. But in building certain routines for ourselves, we tend to make it so rigid, and we tend to harm ourselves by doing so. And so one of the main objectives of this one is to have fun. So it's gonna be, I don't know how long I'm gonna run it for, maybe like a year, let's say, and see how that goes. So it's like, I don't have the exact list in my head because I wrote it down, but the list should be somewhere on the screen. I just remember 1 background piece per week, or landscape related piece per week, a character design per week. I'll talk more about that at the end. And a few others: anatomy practice, gesture studies, gesture, anatomy, figure, and small fundamentals, and courses, and then going through people's Patreons and picking a video, sticking through it till the end, and learning new things from there, the likes of Sam Yang and Aaron Blaze and all that. And so that's the routine that I am building for myself. And before we close, I had launched a Patreon close to 2 months ago, but I've redone it and added a tier to it. Initially I was like, okay, what value can I add to people's lives, basically. And I felt like I was basically shooting my future self in the foot with a statement like that, because I don't know what my future self is gonna look like, I don't know what my future is. And so in light of that, I just made a small tier. It's just one tier. I don't know if I'm gonna add more. Again, can't tell the future, but a lot of things are gonna be free. But what is on the quote-unquote premium tier is early access to comic stories and art drops, things I'll be working on. There'll be supporter-only episodes, because since I run a podcast, there are going to be some things from my podcast, longer episodes, more engaging episodes. I'll be taking recommendations from people and want to talk about or write about in my newsletter as well. Full story reads and chapter reviews for my books that I am currently working on publishing. There's 2 or 3 at the moment. Personal reflections and creative updates. And my supporters' names will be in the credits of any future big projects that I do, as well as, as I build this thing up, things like discounts on prints and, free artworks. And maybe when I get good at this thing, I might be able to teach a thing or two. Hopefully, they say you never truly master a craft unless you can teach it. So I'm hoping to get to that level, and that will also be on, the supporter only side of things. And if you're interested as well, I'm working on a Discord server. So I'm not sure when it will be out, but let's say if this video comes out in 2 days, I will be done with the Discord server. The link will be in the description below and everything. And now to actually close the video, first of all, thank you for watching. Second of all, I want to say that one of the things in my routine is to do a character design every week. It could be one pose, it could be a turnaround, as long as it's a unique character that I am building. And so I want you guys to join in the journey and give your thoughts. That will be the next video after this one, is a character that I'm going to design this coming weekend. It's currently Wednesday, so I'm going to take Friday and Saturday and Sunday to design this character, and hopefully I'll be able to get a few good shots so that you can, seem like I've put effort into it, which I'm hoping I'll be able to. No expectations, to be honest. I don't want to give myself extremely high expectations. I just want to go into it as simply as possible and give as much value with that. So I'm hoping that you guys will be able to join me with that. Feel free to share your thoughts, questions on anything and everything. I truly, truly, truly appreciate all your support. Thank you so much for the love on the previous video. As I've stated in previous videos, I host a podcast and a newsletter. All links will be in the description below if that's your kind of thing. And yeah, I don't think I have anything much to say. I really appreciate your comments, and it makes my heart warm to know that there's 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 people out there who watch my things. And I hope that we can continue to build this together. And yeah, thank you so much for everything. And I hope this YouTube thing and staying consistent in doing so begins to work out for the good of not just me, but so that I can also be able in the future to offer more value to you. Sayonara. Goodbye.